Do you have a child that learns best by hearing? And are you homeschooling and wondering really what is the best curriculum for them? Well, have no fear. I am here to help you today because I want to share with you what I feel like my top 3 curriculum choices for our kids who are learning best by hearing. Hi, and welcome to Learning Life. And thank you so much for joining me today. Yes, I'm a firm believer in the different learning styles. That we have our visual learners, our auditory learners, those that learn best by hearing, our kinesthetic learners, those who learn best by doing, and when we can match up a curriculum for them, then really their homeschooling experience is just going to be so much better. Theirs will, yours will. It is all just so great. And I feel that this is something that we really need to be looking at first, what is their learning style before we're picking curriculum instead of trying to mismatch the other way. The last video I did was on our visual learners, those that learn best by seeing. Today I want to look auditory, those that learn best by hearing. And, maybe you have one of those. I don't have an auditory learner. But you know what? We all do learn by hearing a little bit, but remember we often have a primary one. I'm talking about our kids today who have a primary learning style of by hearing, our auditory. You know what? I have other videos that you can check out on the different learning styles and how we can support them. I'll put some links below, but also check them out here. And thank you so much for watching, for your likes, and for your subscribes. Now, what do our auditory learners need when it comes to a curriculum? Really, what do they need? They need to listen, okay? They need to hear. We're not going to rely on those visual aids. We're not going to rely on a lot of just that visual reading. Our auditory learners, they're going to really process best. They're going to take in that information through discussions or lectures, podcasts, actually reading aloud to themselves, all of those verbal activities that are really going to help. And there are some curriculum out there that is really helpful for that. And I have found that they have mostly been the online ones because of how they are really using video and all of those different sort of activities that can really engage us by hearing. Now, there are also wonderful resources like Audible, podcasts, all of these sort of learning opportunities for our children where they can be listening and doing. And I love that technology has taken us that way, that we can now get so many books that are read aloud for us, that we have podcasts, we have lectures so readily available that we can be listening and learning. And this is great for our auditory learners. My top 3 curriculum choices for our auditory learners. Well, as I said, they are more online options because they really are giving that opportunity for our children to be able to hear. Yes, they are also seeing because they are online, and there are some great options out there. One of those is Rounded Schoolhouse. I really like this curriculum for the way that they are bringing that material. It is wonderful for our kids to be able to sit there and hear the teacher, bringing this information to them in an engaging way. I have done a review on Rounded Schoolhouse. You can check that out below. And again, this is just so many good activities for our auditory learners. Another one is Time for Learning. Yes, another online option. Again, another one that I have reviewed. I really like Time for Learning for our auditory kids because there are all these different style of activities as well that they can all be listening to. Yes, they're still engaging visually, they're still engaging in doing things, but the primary way that they can take in this information is by hearing. So Rounded Schoolhouse and Time for Learning are 2 solid options. Another one is Khan Academy. Now, most people know it for its math, that's how it started, but it's really growing in all the different aspects and areas. And they're really bringing in a lot of stuff with Khan Academy Kids for the younger ones, And what I love about it are these small chunk videos that, yes, you can see it as they are explaining it and it's showing it, but you can hear it and you can hear the steps in math. You can hear the explanations so very clearly in how they put these videos out. And so Khan Academy is another wonderful option for our auditory learners. And again, like having it online and like having these videos, I love that we can like stop, go back, listen again, and really like be taking it in. Because remember, our children who are learning best by hearing are going to need to have those opportunities to hear. And so these three options like give all of that, and with our literature, the fact that we have like Audible, that they can be hearing our books, these are important. And so I feel these are strong options for our kids if they really are learning best by hearing. And we want to support them in that, right? Because we want them to have success. And I know that it can be hard. Like if they are stuck with a curriculum that there is just like a lot of reading, then they're not going to fully enjoy it. Yes, they can learn how to read out loud to themselves to take that in. I worked with a number of students that I really had to help them in that going, you know what? Your study shouldn't be quiet. And I remember being taught, your study, you've got to be quiet. No, our auditory learners have to speak it out loud. They have to discuss. They have to be doing all of these things. We can't get them just to be quiet and to just be reading. We want to set them up for success. So check out like these three options. Check out like these wonderful online resources that we have because they really are going to help our auditory learners. Well, thank you very much for watching today and being part of this learning life. You know what? I love bringing this stuff. I love helping people learn like with homeschooling and like with parenting, like how can we really do what works best for us? One of those ways is I do have this How to Homeschool Masterclass, one of these things where I help you find your child's learning style and then help you match a curriculum that could go with you on that. You can check that out at my website, LearningThis.Life. As well, there are other great resources there too. If you want to help get these videos out, you can do that by becoming a champion. So check that out at patreon.com or at my website with all of those other great resources, LearningThis.Life.